be impacting you. If the president did not have intelligence, then there's something wrong with the intelligence system. You saw Gachagua saying that the intelligence spy master needs to leave office because he didn't give the president the intelligence. But I think that's not the case. If the president did not get intelligence about this matter, then there's a serious challenge at the leadership level. If he got it and ignored it, equally that's a challenge. So according to me, he could have prevented loss of life. So I'll give a simple example. I'm a man. If I go home, then I go home late in the night. My wife asks me, Fred, why are you coming home late night? Then instead of answering the question, then I beat her up, isn't it? The problem moves away from coming home late to what's called domestic violence. So the president has to know that it has moved away from just amend, reject, because first of all, Kenyans told them, amend this bill. He never listened. Now, when he going forward with it in parliament, he said, now reject it. He didn't listen. So when he told you reject it, he killed people. And I'm saying kill people because the president swears I should be able to uphold every life and property in this country. So I say kill people. I don't mean the president took a gun and shot anybody. I meant that he ordered the security apparatus to kill him because he's the head of state and he's a commander-in-chief. So because of that, Kenyans at times say, now because Kenyans have been killed, we have allowed destruction of property, now we are not talking about just amend, reject. People are saying, we need change in government. Gen Zs are saying, now we want you to go home. Now, the question is, how do you go home is the question we shall be discussing rather than whether you stay or not. So I've heard him saying he's going to talk to people. And let me tell you what, I don't want to hear these things about let's talk. Do you know I don't hear about this talk? Mercy, the president swore to the Constitution when he be able to take oath of office. There's a manual for what Kenya is asking. If you just look at what Gen Z's demands are, is there in the Constitution. About corruption. Corruption is abhorred in the Constitution. Transparency in government's accountability is all there. Chapter 6 of the Constitution is very clear about how people should hold themselves. When he took a gift from a plane from Abu Dhabi, which was around 200 million shillings, it is there in the Constitution. So what we are trying to say, why are we talking here to have a manual? It's like, let me ask you a question. If you buy a watch and you are given a watch plus a manual, why should you be calling for talks on how to use the watch? The manual is there in the Constitution of Kenya 2010. It's also there on government policies are there. We also have them in the oath of office taken by the president. They are all there. If it is very hard, he can ask experienced people like Uhuru Kenyatta. I don't think His Excellency Mr. President, a former President Uhuru Kenyatta, has any bad heart to be consulted. The way I've known him, he's a gentleman. He would be able to come out and to listen and talk. We also have very senior civil servants who have been in government, who have seen different difficult situations. Remember, Uhuru Kenyatta turned around the COVID-19 situation. I'm sure with his economic team, they could actually be able to sit and tell Mr. President, now do this, do this, do this. But here we are seeing ego, we are seeing bravado, we are seeing a lack of sensitivity against what Kenyans are going through. So according to me, there is no need of talking about these things or talks. I'm happy with the Gen Zs. Don't waste time going to State House to discuss what is obvious, what's in the manual. Let him follow the manual will direct him. In fact, this manual can even now be automated with GPRS. Where Kenya needs to go, it's clear. ChatGPT can generate how the state should be run. I saw someone generate a whole speech the president should read using ChatGPT, and they read the speech. Why are we wasting time on all these things? So according to me, the president needs to work according to his terms of reference. And his terms of reference was there when he took oath of office. He needs to uphold the Constitution, which is the manual, isn't it? He needs to protect life, which is again in the manual in the Constitution, how it should be done according to bills of right. So I'm trying to urge the president. Humility is very important. In fact, the days I've got things wrong are the days I never listened. And the days I got things right are the days I listened. In fact, when I used to be a professor in Strathmore Business School, the days I went to class to listen to students, I became a better teacher. The day I went to class thinking, I know, I've read books, I have a PhD, I have what, those days I didn't get a good class. So the days I went to class and what I would call moderated or facilitated class session, I perform much better. The president, you are the head of state. And I can tell you, the citizens are asking a simple thing. Even about these talks, let the president lead from the front. You know, people are telling me that citizens are going to the street, they are going to die. They don't have to die because they have told you that they have no option. They have to go to the street. And they have a right written by the Constitution to do so. Now, as head of state, do you also want to tell you have a right to kill them? No one has a right to kill anybody. So why must they die? You know, in Spider-Man we say, the one with the greatest power has got the greatest responsibility. The president, because of his power, he has more span of control. He has more option than citizens. If you're telling someone who is dying of hunger at home because there's no food at home, that he has an option, he has no option. But you as a head of state, you can say, okay, let us postpone all these mandamanos because I want to resign in 60 days. That can stop loss of life. Now, what is so important in power that people must die for you to continue being in power? I don't see that there's a big deal, but at the same time, I want to state that it's at the president's discretion to resign or not. And because he may not be able to resign, I'm asking citizens, in as much as we continue pursuing the fact that we are going to the street, which is your right, why don't you just explore and join us as concerned citizens in the process of amending the Constitution so that at least we can be able to find a way on which we can remove any other person, not just the current president and deputy president, any other person for prosperity, any other future leaders we shall elect, so that never again will you go to the street and die. I remember the song which was sung by Gidi Gidi Majimaji, which was sung about Moi 22 years ago, that we are unborgable. I was so shocked to see that song being sung by Gen Zs last week on Tuesday. Yeah. Again, we are unborgable. We don't want to sing this song again 22 years again from now, that we are unborgable. We want leaders who are borgable. If you are a husband, if you are a wife, if you are a CEO, you are a manager, you are a president, you are a minister, you are a CS who is unborgable, there's a problem. The people should be unborgable because they have the power, they have the sovereignty. We leaders should be borgable. For me, when my wife told me, Fred, I have a concern, I usually get worried because I know that I have to step down. I have to step down and listen to her because I know very well that I am borgable. So I want Kenyans to know that the only people who are unborgable are the citizens when they come together in a sovereign manner to pursue a certain goal. They are unborgable. They can change the constitution, they can amend it, they can bring down a leader, they can change their governance system. They are the only unborgable people. Everybody else is a servant of the constitution and they should remain borgable.
Yeah, some days back we saw President being asked some questions by mainstream media, different mainstream media, and they were playing his former clips when he was doing his campaign. And he was asked, you said earlier that you will not use your government to hurt Kenyans. But some days back when Gen Z were being seeking their rights back on the streets, we saw some killing in Rongai and Githurai streets. And he was asked, who are those people who are killing those the young people, the young youths, the young Kenyans? But he said those who are goons, they just went and picked the bullets and they are just, how can I put it? They are just shooting. Those are the goons shooting. But we have the government. What do you have to say about that?
Of course, the president, I'll answer this in two ways. First of all, the reporting by the media was very accurate. And also the report from the Kenya National Human Rights Commission was also very accurate. I have worked closely with the Kenya National Human Rights. I think they are quite objective. Even Transparency International also was giving the same figures. So I don't think the president has got the right of reporting. The reporting should be given to somebody. I told you we have 4 estates. So reporting is the 4th estate, which is the media. So let's allow the media to report accurately. I saw this not just in the national media. I also saw international media. I saw the one of Larry Madowo. They are quite accurate with precision, and I really appreciate the media for risking their lives to be in these scenes and bring out the news as they are. I'm also want to take this time to send my condolences to all the media personalities who are hurt. I don't know if there's any who died, but I'm sure there are some who are hurt in the course of duty. There's a lot of sacrifices Kenyans are making. So I can tell the president that actually he's not being objective. Let those people bring the facts. He cannot be the one who is owning the facts. He wants to be the prosecutor. He wants to be the investigator. And also he wants to be the implementer. No. Let other people play their roles because they have the legitimacy to play their roles. So it's completely wrong to deny facts because that's what actually is angering people. I felt so angered when I heard him saying things that are actually not true. Because when you see someone understanding the not really getting to touch with reality, then you get very concerned because you know the decision won't be made according to the reality. So completely